Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, June 6th. We just got to Icon, and this is the official last week of classes before finals. We only really have one final, and that's in the mastering studio. All of our other classes, we are handing in a final project. So we'll be in the mastering studio getting assessed to get qualified for that studio post-Icon for life. So that's a huge benefit. This morning, I am absolutely super freaking stoked. Brittany Egbert, our vocal collaborators, coming to Icon, and we are going to be recording for most of the day. As I've said, for our final project, I got kind of lucky. I'll be able to hand in tracks that we've been working on. And then, as you know, we have a ton of other projects on the go, so that will be our main focus today. All right, keeping it short and sweet. We got about 10 minutes before Icon opens.
It's just another night where you're dancing alone, but don't worry, baby, I'm coming home. Another night where you're dancing alone, but don't worry, baby, I'm coming home.
Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 7th. How about that track that we are working on with Brittany for our final project? Last night, I managed to finish the 9-track album, get it all mastered. I think we did a good job, especially utilizing the best hardware that I think made things sound really nice. The main thing that I was looking for in the master was when I switched to each track, did I want to reach for the volume? Was something significantly louder or quieter? And then after that, I was listening to tone. Generally, I used most of the same analog hardware in the studio across each track. And then because some of the tracks were a bit of a different style, there was some ambient stuff in there. But overall, I was utilizing a lot of the same gear just to color each track the same way. Like we said before, first week, our mastering teacher, throw away the mastering chains, learn which tool is for the job that you're trying to do. And if you can't hear what needs correction, then you're probably not in a place where you should be mastering a track for release. Of course, if mastering is your goal, you should definitely practice mastering, but I would strongly suggest not to be releasing the tracks that you're mastering. Even I'll admit myself, compared to where I'm at now, taking an engineering approach versus the mastering chain, slapping things on there, not really fully knowing what I was doing, I kind of wish I would have hired a proper engineer for those tracks. This morning, we are finishing off our mixing assignment, our rough mix for Bring Me the Horizon Doomed. I am so enjoying mixing all these different genres. I never thought that I'd be interested in mixing anything other than EDM. This is the grand finale and the last assignment before our final project. We got 100 stems to mix in this track. The final project is we're taking a Piers track and we're mixing that. I've already bounced out my stems. I only got about 40 stems in this track, and we'll see what I receive. I gotta be honest, this is changing the way that I'm gonna be mixing my tracks. The thing that I'm gonna be doing, which I know is scary to a lot of producers out there, is I'm gonna be bouncing down to audio and doing a final mix that way. I think I'm gonna do a bit of a hybrid mix because Ableton, you can't freeze groups, and obviously I want each individual track, each individual stem, and so I'm gonna have to do this kind of hybrid setup for that. But anyways, I'm going on and on and on. I'm just having a good few days, and we're working really hard. We didn't leave Icon till 11 p.m. yesterday, and we're just trying to get these final assignments and work towards getting our final projects done. Here we are in Ableton. Let me open all these up, and this is the Bring Me the Horizon Doomed track. And as you can see, there are a lot of stems for this track. As I've been explaining, this mixing class is changing the way that I view mix downs. Whereas I would essentially mix as I go and then call that the mix down, this is opening up just an entire new dimension when it comes to doing a proper mix down to make this track sound the best it could possibly be. And so keep in mind, obviously, if you look here, I got a lot of returns. We got basically some effects, some crunch, compression, and then an FX compressor. I essentially have all these returns routed into this other return, which is also doing more compression. It's an interesting method to achieving a fuller mix. Let's just give this a listen. Let me know what you think of the rough mix. And there we go. I loved the starting of this mix. And for the final, we are actually mixing one of our peers tracks, which I am also super, super excited about. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, June 8th, and we just got into the studio. I didn't even recap the classes from yesterday because honestly, it has been a doozy the past few days. So for my vocal final, 2-track EP, I have to record the vocalist. Instructor kind of threw us a curveball on the weekend saying that a lot more was expected of us for this checkpoint 2. And that was something like basically having both tracks, all the vocals done up to 80%. And so I had to absolutely grind yesterday. And we didn't get a chance to recap the classes, but we're going to right now. So for advanced mastering, we talked about different file formats, how to deliver them, all that kind of boring stuff, what dither is. But the coolest thing that we went over and talked about was this new Dolby Atmos thing that is starting to slowly become more and more popular for music. If you want a pair of Apple AirPods, second or third generation, or the Pros, or the big headphones, they have something called spatial audio, and all that is done pretty well using Dolby Atmos. One of the DAWs that does this the best, probably, because it's an Apple product as well, is the DAW Logic. And so our instructor pulled up a demo Logic profile and showed us what Dolby Atmos can do. And so this is super, super intriguing for me because low-key, I could use a lot of this in my secret project if I wanted to. And then mixing class was just going over the final mix for the Bring Me the Horizon synth metal track. But that's pretty much it. Had my mentor session as per usual. We are just working away. Also, new project. Talked about that, shared a lot of music. I've been doing a lot of music. Once Icon's over and I'm done with these finals, prepare yourselves because music is coming like it's never before from me. All right, as you know, it's Wednesday, so we have the practical in the mastering studio, and then we have basically part of our vocal final today, and that is I'm in the hot seat recording a vocalist for 4 hours this afternoon. So I am walking into live room A, which is where we were recording vocalists yesterday. Take a look. The window to the console on the other side where the producer's recording, and then if we walk through these double doors, and this is where we were recording yesterday. What an amazing facility, state-of-the-art recording studios, and I had an absolute blast in here, and I wanted to show you what the recording studio looked like. Good morning, everyone. Here we are in the wonderful courtyard outside Icon. It's actually just the front entrance, but still pretty nice little area to relax before the school opens. It's been an absolute doozy of a week so far, and I wish that person wasn't using a freaking air blower thing. Yesterday we had to rush and get our checkpoint 2 for vocal production handed in, and then we had mastering in the studio, as well as we were recording a vocalist for 4 hours as part of our final grade for advanced vocal production. No breaks, 4 hours straight. It was absolutely insane. We were essentially using like a real recording studio, so big console, big mixing board. We had to use a patch bay, get everything hooked in to Pro Tools. So it was a lot because I was only like my second time in that classroom, and we needed to know what we were doing because we were being assessed. We were allowed to use our classmates, but once things got rolling and we were recording and we were kind of one-on-one with the vocalist, there was no help from anybody. I had a ton of fun doing this. As you know, I've been recording vocalists, working with vocalists for pretty much my entire music career so far, and so this is just another stepping stone to being even more proficient, more professional, and I couldn't be happier with how we did. Today, once again, Brittany Egbert's coming to Icon, and we are going to continue recording for our final vocal project. Before that though, we are going to do our very last master. We are mastering other students' work, the level 1s to 3s. We have one more to go, so I gotta get on that. We handed in our sound design homework yesterday night. I'll definitely show you that as well. We had to use glitch effects and create a track out of that. So some really unique samples in there, and I'll kind of show you what I did, give you a breakdown of how I created all these crazy glitchy samples. Coffee time, breakfast time, then we'll get to work. back in Ableton as per usual, and I wanted to show you the glitchy track that I made for sound design class. I think I totally messed this project up. I think we were supposed to glitch an existing track, whereas I made a track out of glitch effects. So it's not that good, but I think it is super creative in the sense that every single sound I made in this was made from random crazy glitching effects. If you take a look at the glitch rack, I've got an arpeggiator, I've got Dunon, I've got LFOs affecting all this stuff, frequency shifter, and then I was basically able to create this out of that. And then I time stretch that out, do other crazy things. Lots of different unique little sounds, and these are kind of like mechanical almost. But let's go back to the song that I wrote. I basically picked apart all these different glitchy effects, and I created this. So yeah, obviously I didn't show you the entire thing, kind of chopped it up into bits and pieces, but that was the gist of creating a glitch effect track. Good morning everyone, it is Friday, June 10th, and as usual, we are sitting outside Icon waiting for it to open. I honestly don't even know what I've been recording this week. These final projects are taking up a lot of time. We're mixing a 10-track album. We are finishing the final mix for our Bring Me the Horizon project. We also need to get back into the mastering studio at least 2 or 3 more times because we have our practical exam next week. And that just reminded me, I also need to finish mixing one of my classmates' tracks because that is the actual final for advanced mixing. It's pretty cool though because a lot of the final classes will just be us playing these projects for the rest of the class. So that being said, I kind of calculated it yesterday, and in total, mixing and mastering combined, we have done about 50 tracks this quarter. About 50 tracks in 3 months, which is an insane amount of music. But that's Icon preparing us for the future, getting us ready to go. I mean, we've mixed rap, we've mixed indie rock, we've mixed metal, we've mixed pop. I've mastered Jingle Bells sung by a child. And now for the final project, we're working on a 10-track multi-genre album. And this basically includes every single genre. It's pretty crazy. Today is our final advanced sound design class. We'll be going over our glitch effects assignment from last week. Anyways, we're gonna get to it. Talk to you soon. Good evening, everyone. Still Friday, and what a great day that we've had so far. We had our very last advanced sound design class, and this time it was all about modular gear and hardware. The instructor brought in his own Moog Matriarch synthesizer, which is kind of the best of both worlds between modular and synthesis. We got to go up and experiment and mess around with it, and it was a ton of fun and a really cool way to end the quarter. Right now, as you can see, we are back in the mastering studio and we are reviewing for our final. Let's zoom out a bit here so you can see everything. I'm not too nervous for the final, but I really wanted to get in here review because I felt a little bit rusty when I mastered that Christmas song. So yeah, let me just show you a couple things. So I do have a track playing, but I want you to look at this, guys. So this is the SPL Cure, and this is honestly one of those pieces of hardware that you can just turn it on, put your track through it, and the natural warmth of this piece of kit automatically makes your track sound better. It's pretty crazy. The next piece of gear is this one here, the Drummer 1979 multi-band compressor. I actually have the exact software version to this, and this is probably my favorite thing in the mastering studio. So yeah, there's a little bit more of an in-depth look at a couple of the pieces of hardware that Icon has in the mastering studio. All right, I gotta study for my exam. We'll talk to you soon. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, June 11th. We are in one of the studios as per usual. We actually already had an hour studying for our mastering final in that mastering studio. Posted some clips up on my Instagram. You should probably go follow me at We Feel Elated so you can stay up to date with every single thing I'm doing. I'm probably not going to continue the vlog, at least for a while, because I definitely need a break from recording and editing every single week for the last 21 months. But I plan to continue posting videos. Obviously, I'll have new music coming out, but tutorials and little tips and tricks for music production, definitely something that I want to be doing. We are just working away. I honestly thought yesterday when we finished 2 big finals that we were like ready to go. This is it. We've basically finished everything. And yeah, it turns out that was 2 of 5 things done. Now, arguably, those were 2 of the most time-consuming projects. Finishing off the 100 STEM Bring Me the Horizon mixing assignment, as well as the 10-track multi-genre album for advanced mastering. 2 big ones out of the way, and then what do we have next? We have to mix and master a Peers track. We have to finish off those 2 vocal songs for our advanced vocal production final. And then for advanced sound design, we have to synthesize an entire track. So we're not allowed to use any samples at all. We have to create all the bass, all the leads. Like, we have to synthesize and layer everything and create a track out of that. I've started working on a drum and bass track for that, since a lot of the class was kind of geared towards neuro bass and a lot of bass music stuff. So why not just dive in there and see what we can come up with? But yeah, so still got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we're gonna finish it. Completing those 2 projects is a lot of weight off my shoulders right now, so we're just gonna keep on doing our thing.